What's up? What's up?
Hey,
Hey
hey,
everybody.
hey.
We are hitting y'all with another bonus chat. We'll give you guys. I know a lot of, we didn't have it scheduled. We didn't really plan for this. It's kind of impromptu, but we definitely have some things that we want to share. So we wanted to come on tonight just for about 30 minutes or so to go over a couple things. So I hope everybody is having a good night. It's a Saturday night. It's the coldest night yet in Florida. Shanique was like, I think it's in like the 70s, or maybe it's the second coldest night, but we're all in jackets and stuff here in Florida. How you guys doing, BA?
It's cold. It's getting cold. It's like 61 right now.
Yeah,
61 it's I just gotta get used to getting so dark now. Like,
yeah, yeah.
it's
The darkness reminds me of holiday season. So I'm
yeah,
like, I need some lights up. I need to,
I know.
get ready for, you know what I'm saying. Tonight I made
Something.
apple cider vinegar. Lord have mercy. Apple, what is it? Apple cider. I made
Apple
apple
cider.
cider. Yeah, I heated it up and like had the whole apple cider thing tonight. So that was
Oh wow. Oh,
really
Bianca would love
yummy.
my daughter, Bianca would love that because she was just saying, Mommy, we need apple cider for Christmas.
Yes, yes, yes. So Aldi has apple cider for like $1.99. Like everywhere else is like $4 or $5 for
Oh
a half a
wow. I
gallon.
have to go
So
to
you can,
Aldi's.
yeah, you can totally go to Aldi and get it.
Yeah.
Well, people, peeps, fam, Mamas with Commas family, new listeners, we are so happy to have you guys tune in. If you're unable to be on live with us tonight, we completely understand because, like we said, it is an impromptu conversation, but we are going to replay this throughout the week. We do have a formal chat coming up on Thursday that we hope everybody tunes into. It's going to be amazing. But tonight we want to talk about safety um, and how important it is to make sure that you protect yourself and your family.
Mm-hmm.
We did discuss it previously on Mamas with Commas Chat 6.0.
Mm-hmm.
But tonight we just want to kind of, bring some things back up. So I think the first thing we want to kind of go into is self defense and just remind you guys of our upcoming trip for next year. Nico, you want to hit them with that
Yeah.
information?
So we're super excited. We have confirmed the remaining of the details for the trip. It's going to be, and we're shooting for April, guys. April. I hope April's okay. Um, that's kind of what we're shooting for. That is flexible. It can change, but that's just a target time frame that we're looking for right now. It looks good, to go ahead and target for that month. And what we're going to do, we're going to kind of talk about and teach defense techniques. I think it's important. Toy and I feel very strongly about this. There's a lot of things that have been taking place recently. More so it's been out, on social media, just as far as women, protecting ourselves, our homes, our families. We're starting to find out more and more that we are having to become more aggressive in that avenue and making sure we have different plans and techniques that we talk with our family, like if this was to happen, what would we do next, and that type of thing. So this retreat is really a good girls weekend, have some good time, laughs, and learn some good defense techniques to kind of protect yourself. And if you have daughters, I definitely encourage you to do like a mommy daughter and come and join us. I think it's a good thing to do together. I know Toya
Absolutely.
took her concealed weapons class. Her and her daughter went together.
Yep.
So I thought that was awesome. So, this is something that I think we can do together as a family,
Yep.
just so that, it becomes a routine and, we're comfortable with it, because I know, Toya and I had discussed before, even before she took her concealed weapons course, was getting the comfortable with holding
Yep.
the handgun
Mm-hmm.
and things of that nature in a pinch,
Yep.
when things happen, and you're just like, you got to go. And you want everybody to feel comfortable. I know that, and I'm probably going off on a tangent on this, but I just want to say, for parents, I know that it's scary with children. You may feel like, I don't want them to know or be involved. But if you have children that are 18 and older, even 17, I really feel that you need to talk with them in case you're in a position where you can't defend and they have to go do something, right? You want them to be comfortable. You don't want them to freak out, because it'll be something rehearsed, kind of like a fire drill, right? Toy, we were talking about that, kind of like a fire drill.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So definitely the same idea of, our kids are very familiar with, fire drills. I remember when I was little and we rode the yellow school bus, how to exit the bus in case there was an emergency. You want that same protocol for the home. And then I think I remember on 6.0 talking about even with having kids, away at college or if they're in other states, other cities, just what that emergency protocol would look like if
Mhm.
the phone lines went down, having that safe meeting place for everybody. So
Yeah.
just make sure that you guys are having those conversations in the house. My kids, we had a big family, so we did regularly we'd sound off the fire alarm, whether it was first thing in the morning or at night, they'd be in their PJs and,
Mhm.
we all knew where to kind of end up, when that alarm sounded. So, yeah, I
Definitely.
definitely encourage, I mean, they could be as young as, elementary school, as long as they
Yeah.
can walk and talk, just to know how to get to mommy and daddy in that safe place so that, you guys can, as a family, work from that point without, extreme chaos.
Right.
So,
Right.
so
So just
yes,
sign up. Just sign up. Just really quick. Just sign up. We have the link on our in our bio. If you just go to our link tree, you can click and go ahead and sign up if you haven't done already. For those who have already signed up, we're definitely going to be sending stuff out here within the next couple of weeks. We want to just at least have things confirmed before the holidays, because I know everybody wants to, make sure that they have an outlook on what they have planned in the future for next year. So we'll definitely we have that. So just want to kind of throw that out there. And with that being said, that opens up to back to what we're talking about, and as far as protocols and things of
yes,
that.
yes, definitely. So I just kind of want to mention that with the signing up, guys, you're not paying for anything. You're not like leaving any type of deposit. It's just basically your contact information so we can reach out to you and give you that package information if you're at least interested. So there's no commitment at all. In the comments, I'll just put the link in there and you just click on, sign up or register for the Girls Weekend Retreat, and we will be in touch with you. So it's coming together and we're very excited. Um, so yeah, so the next thing that I kind of wanted to mention was concealed license and going to the range and practice handling firearms or maybe taking a firearms training.
Mhm.
Also on 6.0, we had Miss Rhonda, which I've come to love absolutely so much. Her confidence and just her girl power has just inspired me in ways that I can't even explain. But she's in North Carolina. I would highly encourage you guys just to kind of check into your local area and see what type of firearm classes are being offered to you, and take those courses, take them with friends, take them with family members, and get familiar with just using a basic handguns until you're ready to purchase or until you're ready to take the next step of obtaining your concealed weapons license. And
Mhm.
just to let everybody know, yes, I think I mentioned it before, but I was definitely able to finalize that process. I received my card in the mail about 2 or 3 months ago. So I feel empowered. And it's just it's just a little bonus, it's just a little something extra to have and to make sure that I feel safe and that I am uh educated on handling a firearm and carrying a firearm in my possession. So it was a really cool experience, and Alana enjoyed it as well. So take that course too with friends or family. I know some of you guys have taken the course and you've hit me up, and I'm so proud of y'all, and thank you for sharing your experience with me, and just keep pushing.
Yes.
um Ooh, should we jump into it?
Let's jump right on in.
So, the main reason why we wanted to jump on tonight is on 6.0. the chat 6.0, I think a big thing for me was that even in preparing for the show, I didn't have a personal experience to give me that fierceness or that power per se to know what to do or to even want, or even to just I thought I was invisible and that things may happen, but it just wasn't it wasn't like right there in my face. But guys, this past weekend, actually on Sunday night, we had an intruder come into our house. And I was woken up in the middle of the night by my son that we had an intruder in our house. And the first thing that we did was we went and we got our firearms. And we had every right at that time to do whatever was necessary to protect ourselves. And I'm going to kind of skirt around the conversation a little bit, the story a little bit, because this is something that we are actively pursuing. And I'm not quite sure on, how much detail I can give out publicly. But I just feel like, my voice is becoming shaky because I'm still very nervous about the situation. I'm still very scared about the situation. It's something that I never would have imagined would happen to my family. Basically, one of our doors was left open, and a strange woman just came into our home, and we had to react. And the reaction time had to be very quick because 911 does take time to get to the home.
Mm-hmm.
So you're responsible for protecting yourself and protecting your family in that, 2, 3, 4, 10 minutes, however many minutes that it takes. And I have to let you guys know that because of the chat that we had on Mommas with Commas.
It's okay. Take your time. Take your time. It's all right. Take your time. It's all right. I just want to say, that this is something that is very, very hard to talk about. And, just to reiterate, the door wasn't left wide open, folks, because I know people are going to be like, no, it's just the door. It wasn't locked all the way.
Locked.
Okay, the door was closed, but it wasn't locked to where if someone was to do like, with the knob and you can walk in, unfortunately, at that time. But it still doesn't give a right for someone to walk in. You feel me? Because it's not your house. Whether it's unlocked, the doors, you could turn the knob or not. That's trespassing, period. So go ahead, Toya. I'm sorry. I just wanted to give you some
okay,
time.
you might have to jump in for me a couple times, girl, because I'm like, I didn't think I was going to get upset, but I just want to express to you guys, like if it wasn't for, the conversations when we didn't even think that it was going to apply to us personally or apply to our families personally.
Mm-hmm.
We had these amazing people on the chat to educate us, to inform us, and to give us the information that we needed in those situations. And granted, it was only like I think it went over an hour. We were probably talking for a couple hours, but it just made a hell of a difference for me. In addition to the chat, going to the concealed class and getting my concealed license was just something that I had embedded in my brain. It was information that I was taking in that I wasn't even fully conscious that I would use it in the right way, in the right timing. And then thirdly, going to the range and actually practicing loading the gun, holding the gun, shooting the gun. And in addition, with that being thirdly, having my family there. So every time we went to the range this year, we took our boys with us. They're teenagers, but we made sure we took them with us. And at the point in time of being at the range, hey guys, I see y'all in the comments. At the point in time of us being at the range, it was fun. I mean, we were being, we were following the rules and we were, making sure we were doing things that we were supposed to be doing, but we were enjoying, this time together. It was like family bonding time, at the range. But it all of these experiences definitely was an aid in our family knowing what to do in the case of an emergency. So, with that being said, everybody here is safe. Um, we got through the situation without anyone being hurt, including the intruder. Because the person that came in the house could have destroyed their life and could have destroyed our lives as well.
Mhm.
But because of the knowledge and because they didn't have a weapon, um, and I think just because of the education and the composure that we were able to maintain and gain control of the situation, it ended the way that it did. But it was very serious.
Mhm.
Um, the police, when they came and arrived here, they did a I feel like they did a good job, but I do feel like it was some things that they could have done a little bit differently to make us feel safer.
Mhm.
Um, but I got to tell you guys that it was everything that I mentioned plus our immediate family that ultimately made it okay for us to move forward and to be able to get through the rest of this week and to be able to move forward from this point on. Um, like I said, I can't go into a lot of details, or I'm not sure if I can go into a lot of details of what happened that night because this just happened on Sunday and it's a lot of things still being worked out. But the minute that I can go into even more detail, or if you guys want to give me a call, privately, I can definitely, just kind of talk you through things. But my main thing for you guys is make sure your doors are locked. We are so comfortable in our neighborhood. We've lived on this street for like 7 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. And we felt so comfortable that if we go to the store around the corner, we would leave our garage open, or, um, our kids are coming and going from practice and here and there, but now that has completely and fully changed.
Mhm.
Everybody that lives in the house, we are like everybody's taking responsibility to make sure that our safety protocol for our home is different, is more secure. We've installed more cameras. We've installed things in our home to make sure we can see what's going on outside of the house. And I never, ever, ever thought in a million years that I would have to live this way. You know what I'm saying? I thought that it was an option.
Right.
I thought that it was an option, and I thought that even it was a luxury because
Mhm.
I feel like sometimes having security cameras, they're expensive.
Mhm.
It's not like when you're in an apartment. I grew up in an apartment when I was young. They didn't have cameras in the apartments,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
it was the people with the big houses that had cameras, but Prime Day was a couple of days ago, you was able to get cameras for like $20, $24, that links to your phone, links to your kids' phones, everybody can see what's going on.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, that's that. And another thing is just being able to present yourself, when hey,
Mhm.
when law enforcement arrives, just being able to present yourself in a calm
Yes.
demeanor
Yes.
and being able to give the facts, not being too emotional about the situation, just giving the facts about what happened and being vigilant and watching even when they're there and making sure that everything is being documented and make sure that protocols are being followed so that
Right.
you understand that record keeping is taking place because you want to know that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. um so yeah, so with safety protocols and with talking to your family, I would say that even add that in an event of an intruder in the house, add that to your family practice or your family
Mhm.
conversation. What to do, where to
Mhm.
go, um,
Who to
you
call?
know,
Like, God
who to
forbid something
call.
happens, you gotta have an escape route, right? Like, sit down with your family and say, even with the young ones, like, go hide, like, where they can go hide to be safe, and maybe put I'm telling on myself, but like an extra phone. I was going to use the other word that they use, but an extra phone that you could just put, somewhere and they can call. I mean, like, I know this sounds crazy, guys, but these are things that we don't think about, like Toya said, because we get comfortable, right? Because our home is our safe zone, right? It's our safe space. So we want to continue to keep it safe. I don't think we realize that people watch us. even though that, our neighbors probably been up, around for years or whatever, there's people that come through the neighborhood. There's people that, got a watchful eyes. Sometimes people just happen to be riding by and they kind of know, like, hey, certain things. So it's just being careful, and having that conversation, like Toya said, with your family, and just say, hey, this is, if this were to happen, what, and even ask your kids, what would you do? What would you have done? And then talk them through it so it can kind of sit in their mind, okay, and things of that nature. Because it's a lot of stuff that goes on. And then also really quickly touch on, Toy, I don't know if you wanted to kind of emphasize on this as well. When you call 911, now this is something that I didn't know until
Yeah.
me and Toya had talked about this situation. Like
Right.
me personally, my cell phone, I still have a Tampa number because I lived in Tampa, right? And I said I'm moving back to Tampa, right? So I never changed my number. But when you call 911, whatever number is attached to that call is going to that district. So if your phone is a Tampa number and you're in a different state, it's going to Tampa first. So you want to have that conversation, because a lot of us, like, I don't have a home phone. Our cell phones is what's a home phone. So a lot of us don't have home phones. So we really have to talk about that. Like, if something was to happen and we get into that situation, what should we do in that instance? Um,
Right.
and then so I'll let Toya finish with that, some of the things that we found out that she was researching, right?
Yeah, so
In your area.
definitely, I mean, you touched on it completely. So like that night when things went down, Terry used his cell phone to call 911, and he has a New Jersey number. I have a Jax, Florida number, and I also have a New York phone. So if I'd have picked up my New York phone and called 911, it would have been the same situation. So I want all of you guys to know that if you have a cell phone and it's an area code, like Shaniqua said, outside of the area in which you live or in which you're, traveling through, if you have an emergency, it's going to route you to that area code 911 system, and they will transfer you. So sadly, in our situation, Terry was transferred 3 times because New Jersey transferred him to JSO, which is Jack's sheriff's office, and then Jack's sheriff's office transferred him to Clay County, which is where the home is. So, it just took longer, and I actually ended up calling to speak with the emergency services, because this is something that I want to find out, where can I start the fight to change this? What can we do to kind of make it to where 911, just like they know when they know it's a crime going on, and they can ping all of those towers and stuff like that, know where you were. If there's an emergency going on and you call 911, it should go to the office directly in that area, because I told them, and I'll tell you guys, and I'll tell anyone on this planet, every minute counts.
Mm-hmm.
Every minute counts.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just like, that's just like a defect in the system. Like it's not going to sit right with me. And that's going to be something I'm going to fight for a change for, because if I call 911, the police should be, I should be talking to the police office that's right here, where I'm at. If I go to Miami and I'm hanging out and I find myself in an emergency, if I call 911, it shouldn't route me to Jacksonville and route me to Clay County and route me to Miami. Every minute counts.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys, want to join that fight, got any information, let me know. Let's team up. Jessica, you're on with us. Jessica has in the comments, hey boo, that this is all good information. Back in April, someone tried to break into our home while we were here, and it was very scary. So, I mean, it changes your life forever. It
Mm-hmm.
changes your life forever when something like that happens. And for me, the situation was crazy. Like, it's like a movie. It's like something you would never even expect. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm able to tell the story, you're gonna be like, I wouldn't even expect for something like that to even happen. Like, it's crazy.
Like,
Like, it was
it's a Netflix special for real.
it's a Netflix special.
Netflix.
It was the worst. How do they say it?
Terrible.
it was the worst I forget how to say it, but like for the worst nightmare. Like you wouldn't even expect all of these little small things to come together to lead to what it led to. And the person that, intruded into our house, which will be on blast the minute I had that picture for y'all, it's not your typical bad guy. Okay. It wasn't your typical bad guy. So, that's gonna be another show. um, but another thing, that's like coming onto my spirit right now to say is, in the midst of the end of everything, um, I thought of Botham Jean, and I thought about how the police officer went to his apartment by mistake, so she said, and ended up firing her firearm and killing him. And I just said that, everything that I do from this minute on, if I'm gonna do it for my family, but I'm also gonna do it for his story and for his name as well, because shit crazy. Like, people crazy. They're irresponsible. They're nonchalant, you know, they're not thinking of the consequences. They're not thinking of, how things affect other people and other people's children.
Mm-hmm.
And they think that they should be understood. But I'm gonna let you guys know that this situation, like, it ain't no understanding. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no understanding. It ain't no compassion. Um, this could have ended way more tragic than how it ended.
Mm-hmm.
Than how it ended. And I got to give, while we're live, I got to give a real big, huge shout out to Terry, because, he been protecting our family. I've been with him 16 years. He been protecting our family. And to be in that situation, it was like we were moving as one. Literally, it was like we was moving as one that night. We locked eyes the minute we was notified, and we just, was moving as one. And I told him thank you and how brave he was. I told my son how thankful I was of how he reacted and responded to the situation and how brave he was. And then as a family, we discussed the situation, and everybody has just definitely stepped up to put all of the protocols into effect. And even our friends, so even our son's friends, have involved themselves into, the security of our home and their homes as well. So that's my part. That's my piece for now. I do want to also add that I'm personally proud of myself, Nico, because,
Yes. I was
the
going to say
way
that.
I
Yes.
handled that
Yes.
firearm,
Yes.
I'm not a chick that was raised, handling guns. I think, my first gun I shot in the air because it was New Year's. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Right.
wasn't raised, taking motherfuckers out left and right, excuse my French. But I've always been alert. I've always been an aware type of person. My father was in the military, so, we were always, conditioned to that way of life. But to be a person that, that just have guns, that know how to handle guns, that's not me. Like, I'm learning. And even the training that I had from this year and the end of last year going to the range, it made an impact on, me knowing where to go to get the firearm, how to load it, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, how to walk with it, how to enter the room with it,
Mm-hmm.
and how to present it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, a lot of people say if you're gonna hold that gun up, you better shoot. But it was there. It was a lot of different variables. It was a lot of different variables in the situation. And I mean, all I can say, you guys, is that it could have ended way, 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 way more tragic. Way more tragic. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy.
I mean, I will say this. I could, I'm very proud of how you handled it. Like you said, it could have went left into, like, your life flashed in front of your eyes, literally. And, like you said, you and Terry was on one accord. But outside looking in, I seen that already. Like, I didn't have to have this happen to see that you and Terry be on one accord. Like, if something was to happen, I see you guys move as one. You feel me? Like, I know. So to hear that and see how that goes down, I'm very grateful that you guys were safe. And you were able to, how can I say it, not let your emotions overtake the moment, and being able to say, all right, this is how we're going to handle it, and this is how we're going to do it, and we're going to do it together, and then come back and have that conversation, so that you guys can feel comfortable in protecting your space. So, you know, I really commend you guys for that. I mean, you guys really, I think that's a really perfect example. I mean, even though you guys don't want to be an example, but I'm just saying that, your experience and the way you moved. Because, see, I want people to understand when you're in a situation like that, there's no time to be like, wait, what? Huh? No.
No,
You know what I
no,
mean?
it
It's
was
like,
no
let's
talking.
go.
It was absolutely no talking. It was like
Right.
we were notified. There was
Mhm.
one point of eye contact that I distinctively remember, and after that, it just moved, from there. And it was looking back at it, I'm just like, well, I'll definitely be an example. I'm sad that that had to happen, but the reason why we wanted to jump on tonight was, I'll be that poster child. Like, I'll be that person, that voice. I'll share the story. I'll share more details the minute that I can.
Yeah.
The weekend that we go out for the girls' weekend, I'll share the story again. You know what I'm saying, in grand detail, so people understand, what happened and what I went through. Um, and the emotion behind it, and the effects, the lasting the effects that it has.
Mhm.
So yeah, so right now, uh home security is huge. Take advantage of, Amazon and the low prices that they have on the Ring, the security cameras that connects to your phone.
Mhm.
It does not matter if you're living in an apartment, if you're living in a house, if you roommates with somebody, just make sure that that front door is protected. You can see what's going on. As far as, your bedroom, make sure your lights are fixed so that you can get to lights, keep shoes by the bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be real smart about how you move, be real tactical about how you move in the event of an
Exactly.
emergency, because it could
Yeah.
happen to anybody,
And and
anybody.
and parents, I think we need to fall back on letting our kids answer the door at this moment right now. There's too much going on right now. We got an election in literally 2 weeks. I really think that, and I will say it again, be careful. That's why we were on the show about go vote early. But I would not have kids answering the door right now. I think that, if somebody comes to the door, I think a parent needs to look at that peephole, or whatever protocol that you put in play. But I don't really think children at this point in time, should be just going to the door, and opening it, and
Absolutely not.
you know,
Absolutely not.
yeah.
I mean, y'all know my boys. I post them. They this big, but all week when that doorbell ring, I'm screaming. I'm getting it. That's what I scream out. I'm like, I'm getting it, and no,
Mhm.
no BS, no cap, like the kids say. Like, I be wanting to answer the door with a gun. Like, I straight up, every time I hear the doorbell, I be like wanting to have the gun and answer the door.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like the lasting effects. Like, I can't even explain. I
Mhm.
can't even explain. And our door, it has this little. We have this, like, I don't know. It's like, you, because it's glass, so we put this ceiling up so you can't see, but there's a little spot in there and you kind of peek through. And I've been peeking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm peeking. Like, who is that? Is that Amazon? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
is it the kid's friend? The kid's friend been yelling through the door because they like, "Hey, mama, it's me. I'm here. It's me." So, thank you, Wendy. Thank you so much. I'm glad we saved. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay safe. Yes, my mom is on here. She says she has an ADT security system. Any type of security systems. When your door open, the chimes. I know I used to be like, damn, that chime getting on my nerves, but
I know,
I
but
can't.
hey.
Like, that's the next step, is to have the chimes on the door so that we can hear, even bells. You can go to like the Dollar Tree and it's Christmas time, so you can go get, a little bell and put that on your doors so that
Mhm.
you can hear when the doors are opening and stuff like that. So, little things like that is always super helpful. If you guys have any tips, um, share with us. You can share in the comments on this chat. You can call me and I'll talk about it the next time we're talking about it. But yeah, that's our main reason for coming on here tonight and talking to you guys. We're gonna put Mamas with Commas Chat 6.0 back into rotation. Soon as we get off tonight, we're going to add that on our pages. So if any of you guys haven't seen it, you could watch it, or maybe you could share it. We always ask for you guys to share, our chats. But the thing about, if you ain't gonna watch it, cool. But if you share it, you never know who may need or who
Yeah.
may love that information, and it can help save their life. Like literally, there are about 4 or 5 things that saved my life. You know what I'm saying? And the chat is one of them. So like having Nequa on here, having Divas in Defense on here, having Girls on Fire on here made a huge difference in my life the other night and how, it's gonna progress from here forward. So yeah, that's
Definitely conversations. I think we lack communication just as humans. We just
that's
assume.
another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I told the kids, I was like, we need to communicate more. I just want to make this one other point that Terry always was the last one to go to sleep in our house. And he could be sick, like he could be sick with the flu, but that man would never go to sleep. I'd be like, go to sleep, go lay down, baby. Like he'd be like, no, I'm not, I'm good, I'm fine, whatever. And he wait for everybody in the house to go to sleep. Then he walk around the whole house. You know what I'm saying? He checked everything, locked the door, everything. Like imagine somebody doing that 15 years. You know what I'm saying? They doing it. That's how he is. That's the type of person he is. Now we got 3 teenage boys that have their own vehicles. They come and go. They have times and stuff like that that they need to be in the house and whatnot. But weekends, Friday nights, sometimes they have different things going on. And that me and dad's already sleep. So now we told them, you guys have to, number one, communicate better. If
Mhm.
you're not going to communicate with us because we're asleep, communicate amongst each other, and make sure you follow those same safety protocols that your father followed to keep this family safe for 15, 16 years and more to come.
Mhm. 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 Yep. And that's. I mean, there's not more to say about that. That's basically it. You guys live together. Your family. Y'all gotta have that conversation. Try to and make sure that we have everything in play so that everybody's on the same accord. Things right now are getting very crazy. I mean, people would say, "Well, things have been crazy." Yes, they have, but it's to me, I think it's that times 10. There's a lot going on, a lot of different things, and we just have to be more careful and plan. When we was on chat 6 and we were just talking about different protocols and things that, like Toya said, it was very helpful. Because after that call, I even called my kids and I said, listen, in case of emergency and we can't contact each other because my kids are in a different state than I am right now, um, this is going to be our meeting place. This is where we need to meet, have those conversations. I just had to have a conversation with them not too long ago about, you know, again, about people who were literally kidnapping people right now. Like they've been doing it, but I mean, it's like, I'm just trying to reiterate because sometimes we get comfortable and we're just kind of like, do, like, pay attention, make sure you have your keys out and don't be fumbling for stuff. And, don't go to the ATM after a certain time. Like, because people are literally, right now, people are literally just casing, like, like a hunt. You know what I'm saying? And it could be out of hate. It could be anything. Who knows? People are just losing their mind. You just don't know. And so, you know, I know it can be, like I tell my kids, I know it sounds like um uh Snoopy with want, but
Mhm.
I have to, as a parent, I just have to do it. I just
Yeah.
have to have this conversation
Yeah.
because now it's close to home.
Mhm.
Now it's starting to happen where all the things that I've talked about in the past is coming in front of us,
Yeah.
and we have to be prepared. Period. It's just what it is. I mean, and we need to have these conversations, with our kids, with people, our family members in our homes, and things of that nature. Even if your children don't even, if, you have older children like myself and Toya, and they're away at college or wherever they are, still have these conversations, because it's nothing more crazy if something happens and they're like, damn, my mom never even had this conversation with me, right? Like, she never
Yeah.
told me what to do. Like, what am I going to do? So you may not want to have this conversation, but it's important so that, like, my older children, they know, okay, this is what mom said. If da 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 happens, this is what we need to do, and this is, it's like programmed in their head. Boom, boom, boom. Period. And it just has to be said. We just have to have the conversation. We got to protect ourselves. We can't say, well, I live in this area. It's not gonna. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
No.
matter. Period. We all thought that. I thought that myself at one point. But I would still, coming from New York, coming to Virginia, you're like, hey, it's laid back. It's nothing like it is in New York. But no, you still gotta watch. You still have to watch. There's people who are banking on people like that to get comfortable, to slip up so they can go right on in.
Yeah.
Right on in. That's their way of getting it, getting you or whatever they're trying to get. So I don't I don't want to dwell on it. I just want to express that it's important to make sure that your
It's
kids
very important.
are on the same page,
Yeah.
even though they don't live with you. They still need to know, because anything could happen. And then for them to be like, I don't know, is very hard to deal with what's going on and the fact that they don't know what happened. I know we don't want to scare our kids. I know we feel like we don't need to tell them everything, but certain things are important.
Yeah.
You have to have that conversation, man.
Yeah. Even in our situation and what happened, there's a lot of shadiness in the scenario, and even though it directly happened to us, having the it was hard to have the conversation with the kids on what may have been some of the reasons why this person came into our house, you know.
Mhm.
Um, so just be as open with them as possible as you can, um, and give them as many different scenarios so that
Mhm.
they can process and be ready, and be responsive in the future. God, I wish I could say more. I do want to say that even in our violation, and even with us being the victims, there was places throughout the story that I could have seen go to the left, meaning that person could have used a scenario against us, if that makes any sense. So,
Mhm.
those cameras will back you up. Um, I did not think to hit the record button on my phone. Maybe next time. Maybe I don't ever want it to be a next time,
No,
but
it's
hitting the
not.
record button on your phone,
Yeah.
having, getting the situation to a camera, having that ring, being able to track what's going on, even when you may be asleep, the lurking and the wandering around. The cameras will tell the story, because people will hunt you down and then try to turn it around, like,
On you.
yeah, like you
Yeah.
was the one. So we're not dealing with that. It was plenty of information there to kind of tell the story, and support, all of our story. But um we're rolling up on about what, 40 minutes or so, 45 minutes. We don't want to keep you guys. We know it's late, but we definitely wanted to jump on tonight and just kind of let you guys know what happened, and make mention of our previous chat, because now that is definitely near and dear and a part of our life, and we want to be able to share, and continue the conversation and continue the experience with you guys next year. For our girls weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. So just, at the very least, if you're interested, just sign up and then we can go from there with the details to see if you guys can make it. So, Jessica, I'm so sorry to hear that that happened to you, darling. I'm going to talk to you probably sometime this week. We'll chat. But yeah, you guys be safe, keep your home safe, keep everything tidied up, and don't be afraid of them guns, y'all.
I would
Don't be
listen.
afraid.
I would, I hate to keep pushing. I never thought I would be a person to keep pushing that, but if you haven't, try to go ahead and take, even if you take the class, just
Exactly.
get get the knowledge. And I would say this: know the laws, right? Just know the laws in your state, know your rights, um, across the board. I think this is an important time now to really know your rights, know what would happen in an instance. And I would add that on to your plan when you talk to your family and things of that nature. Let that be a discussion as far as what the laws are, what your rights are. Because again, going back to what I said before, if you're in a situation and you can't talk, but your kids, because we have young adults that we're raising as well, they are able to sustain professionally or in a right manner to conduct themselves intelligently, right, and explain and know their rights. No one can misinform them because they know what their rights are. And as we see with all of the things that happen in here the past couple of months, people think that we don't know our rights, so they get over on us a lot. So I think that's important too. In this instance, is that we need to know what we're fighting, or not even fighting against, but what we're up against, so we know how to handle it accordingly and make sure everybody that is in our family is on the same accord, so that they can't try to trick anybody in the group. It's like, oh no, we know exactly what's going on here, and we've already been through this, so you can't try to trick me or fool me into believing something different. So
Absolutely.
um,
Absolutely.
I think
Ab-
that's a perfect takeaway for it as a whole, as to why we had this chat tonight, as to why we even started. I think this chat was to inform people on things that we didn't know, that they're
yeah.
not going to tell us. And we want to share with our community because it's important and we need to know. um, I think Toya for sharing this very personal experience with everyone out. Right, I know it was hard to do, to express, but it was definitely needed. And so I appreciate you, Toya, for that, because I know that was hard for you.
Thank you. I didn't think I'd get emotional. I was so ready. I called Shaniqua like twice today, like, girl, I'm ready. Just let me know what time. Like, I'm ready to jump on and talk. So yeah, so what I'm going to do, before the weekend is over is, especially like the cities and states that we've lived in, so New York, New Jersey, VA, and Florida. We're going to hit you guys up with some reputable defense classes and a couple of firearms training. I think during our 6.0 chat, we focused on Black owned, but it could be absolutely anybody. We're definitely trying to support, Black owned businesses. But if you have a reputable business in your area that you can go learn self-defense or firearm training, by all means, make it happen.
Mhm.
And yeah, and that's pretty much it. I will definitely update you guys. Like I said, if anybody wants to give me a call, if they want to kind of understand a little bit more in detail what happened, I'm happy to share with you. Because the shit was crazy, but yeah, so I appreciate the platform. I appreciate Mamas with Commas. I appreciate you guys. Share the information, have the conversation. We love you guys. Thank you so, so much
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
tuning in. And hopefully, we'll see you guys on Thursday. So much love to everybody. Y'all have a good night.
Have a good
Have
night.
a happy Sunday, fun day.
Yes. And make sure you put a little time for self-care this weekend.
Absolutely. Love you guys.
Bye.